Shedeur Sanders, son of NFL legend Dion. Headlines took on a life of their own as Shedeur, once projected as a high first-round pick, was passed over by team after team. And then, as that was going on, that slide, Shedeur was pranked on live stream by the son. I mean, it's a very layered story. The son of Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator. Listen to this.
Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man.
No, for sure.
We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
Yes, sir, let's be legendary.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So a confused Shedeur Sanders, who didn't quite understand how somebody could even get his phone number, supposed to be pretty much secret for all the top picks. But that was the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator's son, Jeff Ulbrich's son, who apologized. The Falcons quickly apologized too, but the prank sparked a major debate, with some calling it a racist collusion, trying to ruin a young black man's joy in the spotlight. His draft moment. Others argued pranks like this happen every year to black and white players. Also during the first round of the draft, former President Donald Trump jumped into the fray, taking to Truth Social to blast NFL owners for not taking Dion's kid. What's wrong with NFL owners? Are they stupid? Deion Sanders was a great college football player and was even greater in the NFL. He's also a very good coach, streetwise and smart. Therefore, Shedeur, his quarterback son, has phenomenal genes and is set for greatness. He should be picked immediately by a team that wants to win. Good luck, Shedeur, and say hello to your wonderful father. It's just so weird. Still, Shedeur Sanders slid all the way to the 5th round, day 3 of the draft, before finally being picked by the Cleveland Browns and their chaos. So I guess the first question to you, Cenk, is Trump's intervention immediately, in all caps, did that help, hurt, no effect for Shedeur in this draft?
Yeah, so in a sec, we're gonna get to Stephen A. Smith's charges in this. And the biggest issue is, was there racism involved? So we'll get to that in a sec. But first, these two. The prank, hated it, despised it. The brother's hurt, man. That's not the time that you do a stupid ass prank, okay? But I think everybody's clear on that. So on to Trump. My favorite part of that story, Sharon, is today some conservatives out there going, you see that? Once Trump weighed in, the NFL realized what was right and wrong, and they immediately picked Shedeur Sanders, and so he should thank Trump. Trump said it after the first round, and he was supposed to go in the first round. But then a second round happened after Trump's statement, and he still didn't get picked. And then a third round, and then a fourth round. He got picked in the 5th round. So if anything, Trump's statement might have hurt him rather than help him. He was supposed to go first. Worst case scenario, second. Trump opens his big mouth and genes are the most important thing. He's always talking about genes because he thinks he has good genes. My genes, because I'm very healthy and I'm a stable genius. It's all the genes. So it's like Deion Sanders, so his son must be good. That's why Michael Jordan's son's killing the NBA. No, it's not all genes, you knucklehead. Yeah. And his statement didn't help at all. Maybe it hurt, but I doubt it. I think the bigger issue is what Stephen A. Smith is bringing up, right or wrong. So let's get to that real quick.
Yeah, Stephen A. Jumped into it as well, comparing what happened to Shedeur Sanders to Colin Kaepernick's blackballing from the league. Smith also said Deion Sanders may have played a major role in his son's slide. Quoting Smith, I believe the biggest issue in all of this was primetime Deion Sanders and the thought of having to deal with him. I just read something this morning where they literally said, you know what? One of the things that folks had a concern about is, were they really getting the truth out of the program, meaning Colorado? Because when you go to a program and you ask about a particular player, you can get at the intel. You get all of it. But in this particular instance, because he was being coached by his dad, folks weren't confident that they were getting the right, accurate information about him. And Smith has more to say. It's hard for me to sit here today and to watch a dude that was once projected to be one of the top 2 picks potentially in the draft to drop completely out of the first round and to ignore all those reports that had come out about him leading into the draft. But Smith floated the theory that Deion Sanders made NFL teams hesitant to take his son because they didn't want to deal with Deion, who is powerful, outspoken, has his own set of rules. Deion Sanders has made no secret of his ambitions. He said publicly he would coach in the NFL, but only to coach his son. So what happened here, Cenk? NFL owner collusion, Shedeur Sanders perhaps a little overrated, or Deion still looming larger than life and fear that he would bring chaos?
Yeah, so look, he also mentioned Stephen A. Smith did about Colin Kaepernick and how maybe this was a little bit racial. And so to me, when I look at all that stuff, Kaepernick was definitely racial. In this case, I think that they're worried about Deion. I think that's the better answer that Smith has. And if you think about it, if you're a coach and you're worried that if you pick Shedeur Sanders, there might be pressure for your general manager to bring in Deion Sanders to coach the team, then why would you pick Sanders, right? So that's a problem. But there's one factor here that I think isn't race, and I'm skeptical about race being an issue. Most of the people picked before him were also black, right? I think that what the NFL doesn't love, football doesn't love, is smart, confident people. And Shedeur Sanders is definitely confident. And the other example that this happened was Arian Foster. Arian Foster was a great running back in college, and he didn't get drafted. And the reason they didn't get drafted was because he was great in school, really smart, but he would question the coaches, and they hated that. Now, was he right? Yes, he was right. Eventually, he makes it into the NFL and becomes the #1 running back in the league. He was a great running back, but his intelligence and his confidence actually bothered other people in football. And that's crazy, really, appropriately dumb, right? If you're bothered by people's confidence and intelligence, that is not a smart position to have. So I think that Sanders in this case, especially his confidence, puts some people off. Likely a wrong decision, but to me, Deion Sanders saying he might coach him and Shedeur Sanders' confidence were probably the top two issues. That's my take.
Yeah, I agree with you, but you just sparked something in me too when it comes to the NFL, and there can't really be the individual. It's about groupthink. Don't question it. Look at the league. They put players still on, Saturday night. They put them up in the hotel, no visitors, with somebody outside the door. Don't ask me how I know. I know a little bit too much about that, don't I? But these are grown men, okay, who you would think they've been playing the sport. They can have these elaborate plays that they know and all work in concert together. But that's the key. There has to be groupthink. And if Deion starts showing up, I think the Browns, and we can end with this, will probably hire him as a coach. We could take bets on it if you want to, Cenk, but I think you're spot on with this. I didn't see the racism. The prank was ugly and mean. I felt bad about that, watching that. But hey, welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah, another striking racism is the Steelers are really needed a quarterback, and they are definitely not a racist organization. They're the ones who insist that on the Rooney Rule, which is you have to hire at least talk to a black candidate before hiring a coach. They have a black coach. They've been wonderful about it throughout. And so if they didn't take him, there might also be just a good football reason not to take him. But now we're all curious. Now we're gonna watch, and I hope the Steelers aren't wrong, and he doesn't light them up in the same division with the Browns. So now we're all on pins and needles, and we're all gonna watch. So that's the upside. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.